Finally got out of Florida, and now I'm going to be going to the complete opposite end of the country on this episode of
The Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live and furry studio audience that is Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Yes, broadcasting live from the Clutch Trucker Studios, currently located in South Vienna, Ohio. Well, if you'll watch my last video, yeah, I did finally make it out of Florida Tuesday morning. I was parked at that TA Jacksonville South, they called it, actually in St. John's, Florida. And Bo called me up early in the morning and said, I got a load for you, and it's 60 miles north up into Georgia. It picks up, and then you can drive straight through and deliver today. It's $800, 200 miles, so that was actually pretty decent. And then they threw another load right after that. They said, okay, and then you can drive down to Summerville, South Carolina, because this first one delivered in Roseville, South Carolina, and then was going to go down to Summerville to pick up. So it was all pretty tight. So, you know, I made a couple sandwiches there before I left to get rolling, because I knew I wouldn't have time to stop. Got up to the place and got loaded fairly quickly, and then drove on up. I got loaded there in, what was it, Folkston, Georgia, just over the border from Florida. And then had to go to Roseville, South Carolina. That kind of turned into a cluster, because they told us as long as we were there by 3:30, they didn't load us. Well, we get there, and then they were having this big, you know, company-wide meeting. It's a place where they make pallets. And I was bringing them something, I don't know what it was, something woodish. And finally, once I get somebody to acknowledge me, again, that whole, you know, don't want to work thing. They're like, well, we unloaded one truck this morning. It was all falling over. It was a big mess. Took 2 hours. I'm not doing that again today. It's like, no, yeah, you are, because I got another load that picks up tonight. And if you don't let me get unloaded now, then I'm going to lose $1,875. And I don't think I want to have that happen. And so somebody talked to somebody, and some people lit fires under some other people, and finally they got around to doing it. It's like, well, you know, so if you make me leave and come back tomorrow, you still got to do it then. What's the... Just freaking do your job. So I get so tired of that. You know, and I hate to, you know, stereotype, but in the South, it's so much worse. I don't want to do that. Do your job. Luckily, they got me unloaded. I drove on down to Summerville, South Carolina, to a Bosch, B-O-S-C-H plant, and was picking up some sort of automotive parts, coming up to Urbana, Ohio. Now that run was like 660 miles. I'd already driven like over 5 hours that day to go from Jacksonville to pick up, run over to this one, get unloaded, then run down another hour into Summerville to get picked up again, and drove as far as my hours would allow me to last night. By the time I got parked in Wytheville, Virginia, off I-77 and I-81, it was midnight. Well, now I've run out all my hours. I got to wait a full 10, even though this one was supposed to deliver at 12:30 today, but this is through Echo Global. They're pretty good, and they know that they can usually work something out. I mean, they're not like this other one I dealt with last week where, you know, there was just no way in hell it was going to work, and they're like, well, why not? Well, because you scheduled it wrong, you moron. They realized it was scheduled really tight, because the one in Summerville wasn't scheduled to pick up until between 3 and 7 p.m. Even if I had been out of there by 4 p.m., I still wouldn't have made the 12:30 delivery. It's just not physically possible. You know, physics kind of gets in the way. What do you think? So I got on the road as soon as I could this morning. I wanted to fill up there at the TA in Wytheville, and they were out of fuel. All the fuel islands were blocked before I left. I'm like, okay, I'm down to a quarter tank. How far can I make it? I made it up to Charleston, West Virginia. Had to fill up at a Go-Mart. I didn't get any discount there, but at least they were a little cheaper than like the Loves or something. I put up 60 gallons. I didn't want to add any more there. And then rolled on up and just kept cruising right along until I got up to Urbana, Ohio to deliver this afternoon. Got there about 3 p.m. and they did get me unloaded fairly quickly, within like an hour and a half, which wasn't bad at all. And right as I was heading over there, then Bo calls me from Turquoise with another load. Oh, let me kind of backtrack here a little bit. So where I had to sit there and wait all Monday and I didn't have a load, they pretty much made up for it pretty well by having that $800 load that would deliver straight through on the same day, and then $1,875 that delivered the next day, being Wednesday. So in the course of 2 days, If you count from Monday where I was waiting until today, I still made $26.75. You can't complain about that. So not too bad for especially getting out of Florida. So yeah, I was running my ass off. That's why I didn't have time to do another video or get to your comments or anything, but worked out pretty well. So then Bo calls me with another load as I'm almost to this place. It says, okay, now this one doesn't pick up till Friday. I'm like, well, what am I going to do all day until then? So, well, yeah, but it's got one pick in Chillicothe, Ohio. And then it goes all the way to, it has 4 stops. One in Spokane Valley, Washington, Spokane, essentially. Or Spokane, I think it's Spokane. Then one in Fife, Washington, Tacoma, Seattle area. And then 2 in Portland. And the 2 in Portland are only 1 mile apart. And I have a delivery date starting at Monday all the way through Friday. I'm going to try to get this all done by Tuesday, so that way it all lands on this paycheck for this next week. $7,100, not too bad. Can't sneeze at that either. So right now I got to have a little time off, and then I'm going to get a 34, and I'll have fresh hours then to run straight through and do all this over the weekend. So as I've always said, if I have to do a 34 on the road, I try to take advantage of the time and get some stuff done. If you remember, I was trying to get those steer shocks replaced, and I couldn't get it done anywhere in Florida or Georgia. I'm hoping tomorrow, since I'll have plenty of time to kill, I can get it done. And this is the advantage of being on paper logs. I'm going to be able to show a 34 off even though I'll be moving a little bit tomorrow. So I can go do that. That way I didn't have to drive all the way down to Chillicothe and wait where there's no truck stop tonight to wait out my 34. And this is where you should be able to do that even on e-logs. And this is where the problem, people always complain about the e-logs, saying, well, the e-logs are the problem. Well, no, the e-logs aren't the problem. The problem is the hours of service rules in general that the FMCSA puts out that don't allow you to do something like that. I'm going to be basically off duty until Friday morning, and yet if I move the truck, that interrupts that 34. That shouldn't be the case. Really. In reality, in the real world, let me take advantage of that time and get something done instead of just sitting here and not moving the truck for 34 hours, twiddling the thumbs. It's the hours of service rules that are just screwed up. It's because people who make the rules aren't the same people who do the job. And that applies to almost any industry, and I'm sure if you have a different type of job, you can say the same thing about yours. The people who make the rules are not the people who do the job. Am I right? So anyway, I'll try to get the new steer shocks on tomorrow, and then I'll make my way to the TA in Jeffersonville, Ohio, which will be the closest I can get to the pickup in Chillicothe for Friday morning. Then I'm going to buzz on through, and it's about a 2-day drive to get to Cheyenne. That's a little bit longer. It's 150 miles longer to go through Cheyenne than it is to go straight up into Minnesota and that way through South Dakota, or at least through South Dakota and all that. But I'd kind of like to run by the house. And if I can run by the house where I have ladders, I can maybe finally take my Gorilla Tape and finish fixing what I think will be the final fix for my leak in my upstairs extension here in my remodel. What do you think? It's still going to be a tight run, because then I can get there Saturday night, but I got to leave by midday Sunday, so I can make it at least to Rocker, Montana, so that then on Monday I can get up early, drive on into Spokane, try to make that delivery, and then make it to North Bend, Washington, to that TA, which is the closest TA there is to the Seattle area, where I can reserve a spot, so I can try to do that delivery Tuesday morning, run down to Portland and do those 2 and knock all that out, so that all hits on, because as long as it's done on the Tuesday, we're paid based on every Tuesday to Tuesday. Then that all goes on the paycheck for this week. $7,100, not a bad deal. So that's what's been going on. I grabbed a shower here at this Fuel Mart. I've had a shower here before, not the best in the world. It's a closet, basically, with a sink and a shower in it. Not the best. It would be nice if it were cleaner, but at least I got clean. There's no place to sit in there. There's no toilet in there, so you got to make sure you do your business before you go into the shower room. But, I didn't want to wait another day. So, I'm fresh and clean. I smell all lovely now. It's always funny, whenever I come back from the shower and get back in the truck, Rusty's always sniffing all over me, because you smell different. Yeah, I smell clean there, dog. How about that? What a concept. So now just chilling. I've got to put together my trip pack envelope. This is something we have to send in every week with my all my bills of lading from that week, and get all that ready to go so I can drop it in a trip pack box. That's how Turquoise gets all the stuff. I take pictures of everything and send it up on this load stop program we use so that they get it instantly. But then this also just gives them the hard copies, and I send in my logs every week on one of these, and that's the way they get all that information. One of my subscribers did ask about, doing videos about planning my trips and all that. And this trip involves a lot of planning because, it's going to take days. And I need to look ahead to find the best fuel prices. With as high as the fuel is now, sometimes one state to the next state, it's like a 60, 70, 80 cents a gallon difference. That's huge, especially when you're putting on 200 or more. Big difference. It can save you a couple $100. So I think I'll try to do a video over this next few days while I'm on this whole run, talking about how I plan out my trips, how I look ahead. I've got this great app on the fuel card we use. I can look to see exactly what the fuel cost is each day in different locations, so I can really plan to save the most money, plan on where I'm going to. That's why I love my Garmin OTR 1000, because I use it to plan all my trips. And a lot of times I'll do 3 or 4 different trip plans to try to determine which way is going to be the best, which is going to save me the most money, does it have tolls, which way I want to go. So I'll try to do something all about that. Well, thanks for tuning in for that one. Yeah, how about that? From the very southern, southeastern-most portion of the country to the very northwestern-most portion of the country. That's doing some miles, baby. Thank you. All right, thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe. Please like and comment. I try to get to your comments usually within a couple to 3 days. I can't get to it much faster because I'm a working truck driver. Please make sure you ring the bell for notifications so you know when the new videos come out. There's Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter. I've not been too great about keeping up with that, but I'll try to post some stuff up there soon. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. Little surprises around every corner, but nothing dangerous. We better press on. He's poised and ready. He knows where it's going. Yeah, that's cheating. Come on down. You gotta wait for me to throw it first. Come on down. All right, now it's up there. There you go. See, he's too used to knowing it's gonna go up on the clutch couch there, the clutch trucker seating area. The CTC, baby. Oh yeah, love that bacon strip. Love the bacon strip. All right, got another one for you. Oh yeah, happy dog. Happy dog. Thanks to Junior for sending that giant bag. Oh, here's one little last piece.
A giant bag of bacon strips up there.
All right.